Hello and welcome to a new YouTube video. In this one I'll be showing you how I created this little colourful macaroon painting using the Arrtx acrylic markers in my sketchbook. And by the way, my name is Amber and I create art videos here on YouTube, and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I'd like to start this video off by saying thank you to Arrtx for sending me these markers to play with and create a video about. But I'd also like to tell you guys that even though I was sent these markers for free, all my thoughts and opinions about them will not be changed because of that, and I will still give an honest opinion. This little sketchbook is my favouriteest, most cherished little art supply I think I own. I've been slowly filling it up throughout the year, and it's the Talens Art Creations sketchbook in the smallest size, so like an A6 size. 9 by 14 centimetres to be exact. Even though this little sketchbook has quite thin paper for a mixed media sketchbook, the pages seem to hold up so well with so many different mediums, especially these markers. I've been enjoying the markers to create their own little paintings, but also to add marks into my abstract art. So this is an example of using the lovely bright colours to create some texture and detail in my abstract art. I also have another YouTube video which I shall link up in the cards and in the description, where I created that painting there and also unboxed and swatched all the colours out. But I won't lie, I rewatched that video back and I actually thought it was a little bit boring. So I wanted to do the same sort of format with this one, where I swatched all the markers out and sort of unboxed them all and put the stickers on the ends and stuff. But I decided to do it this way instead, because I thought, let's get straight to the artwork and straight to the actual, meat of the sausage. So I've talked about what I'm doing here in a few of my YouTube videos, but this is a really, really good tip, and you don't actually have to have Procreate for this. I think you could use an eyedropper tool in any app on your phone or computer. If you're really unsure about colours to start off with, then I really like, especially when using alcohol markers or acrylic markers, to pick out my lightest colour, my mid-tone, and also the darkest colour as well. I can compare these colours to my swatch chart, and then it's a really nice quick way to just get started with your painting with your three main colours. And then I do end up adding more colours in, so those are just the basics, the lightest, the mid, why can't I understand how to say that word, the mid-tone and the darkest colour, and then I end up adding in like some brighter, more vibrant colours to spice the artwork up a little bit. Now, I will be honest, both times I've done a painting with these acrylic markers, I have been a little bit unsure about the colour selection. I know there's 60 colours in the set, which is amazing, but when I was trying to match my colours to the colour chart, it's like I just wasn't really getting the exact colours that I was after. And I don't think these are really for mixing because they dry so quickly. I'm sure you could put them on a palette and mix them with a bit of water if you wanted to create your own tones, but I don't want to use them like that. I just want to put them straight on the page and let them dry like that and use the colours that are in the actual pens. So I just tried to match the colours as well as I could, but I am so pleasantly surprised, and have been so pleasantly surprised both times I've used these pens now for my paintings. I have absolutely loved the result of my paintings. So they definitely got their own vibe about them, these pens, and that's why I've added all of the sort of vibey synthy music to this video as well, because they just I don't know, they've got such a good vibe about them, and I really enjoy using them. Every time I've got them out now, whether it's to add marks to my abstract art, I just enjoy the whole box experience. I just enjoy the pens, I think they're a lot of fun. And the artworks that I've created with them so far have had their own look, and they are unlike any of the other artworks I've created with any other medium, so that is a pro to me. So I had a really nice day when I recorded and painted this artwork, and I just wanted to share my little teapot with my little Halloween mug. I had a pumpkin spice tea in there and I got all cozy. It was probably pouring down with rain because it's always pouring down with rain, it seems, although as I'm doing this voiceover, it is beautiful, glorious sunshine, so I'm definitely grateful for that. My studio today is my little caravan dinette table. I live on a farm in a caravan for around 2 months with my husband, my family, my brothers, my friends, and we all set up and run a Halloween event. And yeah, so we're here, and soon I won't have time to create any artwork because I'll be so busy working with this event, but for now I'm making the absolute most of it and also scheduling as many YouTube videos as I can so I don't miss a week. The Halloween event, by the way, is called Dr. Fright's Halloween Nights. If you're interested, maybe you could check that out if you're in or around Northamptonshire. But let's get to this little painting for now. I say little a lot, right? I have just realised that, so I try and keep an eye on it. So I'm starting off, or I did start off, with my lightest colour here on the page, and I'm always referring back to my colour chart if I need to pick out some more colours. So I knew I wanted to add this really bright, vibrant orange into the middle of this macaroon, you know, for like the jam or whatever is in the middle of a macaroon. Also, let's start a debate in the comments. Is it a macaroon or a macaron? And what's your favourite flavour, macaroon or macaron? Mine is pistachio, for sure. I'll pick pistachio over any flavour ever for everything. I love it. So, one of the big things about these markers is they dry very, very quickly. That is a pro for me, but also a little bit of a con, because you want to blend your colours out a little bit sometimes, and you can't really do that when the colours are so fast drying. Now, I do lean into that effect in a lot of my, like what I've done with these acrylic markers so far, but I did want to try and get a little bit more of a softer look. So I got my paintbrush and I added the marker down and then blended the area out as quickly as possible after I put the paint on the paper. And then I thought I would leave that to dry and go in with my second macaroon, or macaron. That's going to get annoying, so I'm just going to call it a macaroon for the purposes of this video. For the first one, I wanted to sort of add the lightest areas in first, but then I thought for the next two I would try and go in with the mid-tones first and then add the lighter and darker colours on top. I feel like that's a good way to get the pen on the paper really quickly, and it can get you over your fear of the blank page rather than just adding in little areas at a time. By the way, I have linked the reference photo down below in the description, so you can try this painting out yourself if you like. I think it would be great for so many different mediums because there's just so many different colours you can play with, and that's the reason I chose this reference photo for today's video, because I can try out all my oranges and greens and pinks as well, and then a darker background. So it's a really nice way to try out a lot of different colours in this set. Now, speaking of this set, as I said in the beginning, this is the second set of the 60 acrylic markers from Arrtx, also known as the anime set or set B. So this one is very similar to the first set. There's a lot of overlapping colours. The difference is there's no neons and there's no metallics, so there's a lot more sort of nicer skin tone colours and also some nicer grey tones and things like that. So a lot more practical colours for actual painting a picture rather than your metallics and neons, which I would use and have fun with for my abstract art, but I wouldn't necessarily add them into a picture like this. But saying that, a nice pop of neon, pink or orange in those macaroons would have been quite nice probably. So now I'm going in with the background and I'm adding in a really nice dark purple, also the darkest grey in the set, and then in a moment I add some really like a pop of vibrant blue because I think it really brings it to life. Now, if you want the most darkest colour you can get in these acrylic marker sets, it has to be black. And that's my only thing really, is like all the darker colours do dry to be quite light. The only way you can get a really, really dark colour is by adding in the black. But I don't mind that so much. I don't necessarily use black in a lot of my other kinds of art, But with this, I do think it sort of adds to the style, and you'll see in the end, all the little black bits here and there do really add the contrast that this painting really needs. And I think as long as you're adding in the other colours and the pops of vibrant colour around the black, then it works. It definitely works. I love how much push and pull you can get with these markers. You can add colours on top of colours, lights on top of darks, you can add white on top of black, and as long as you get enough layers, it will come out really vibrant and lovely. You do have to wait for the colour underneath to dry if you want to get if you want to do a lot of different layers, mostly because like any other medium, if you keep adding wet on top of wet, it will start to shred the paper underneath eventually. But here's something else with these acrylic markers. Just like all the other ones, I suppose, you don't have to just use them on paper. You can use them on multiple surfaces like wood, plastic, glass, fabric, all sorts of stuff, and that's definitely a pro for me. And I do want to talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons with these markers a moment. So I'll start off with the pros and finish with the cons. So even though I said that I wasn't sure about the colour selection, I think that's just a me problem and not an overall problem, because there is a really lovely colour selection, especially in this set 2, or anime set B, whichever one you want to call it. I love the colours really, and as I said, I've been so happy with the artworks that I've created with the pens, and all this has done really is just had me adapt my style and challenge myself a little bit with my colour selection and seeing how the different colours work together. So that's good really, and not bad at all. There isn't enough reds though, that is one thing. There's only one really bright red in the set, and then there's another one which is a bit more of a coral colour, and then the rest are all oranges. So that's one small con, I guess, and something to be aware of if you love using red. Back to the pros. I love how quick drying they are. I love that they dry so matte, so they're really fun to photograph your artwork afterwards. I think that these markers could look a little bit flat if you don't add enough layers, so I think the best way, in my opinion, to work with them is by adding lots of layers and lots of different colour variation, and like I said, you can push and pull with them so much, so as long as you're letting the layers underneath dry, you can fix all your mistakes and keep playing about until you're happy with the overall look. I actually found it really fascinating watching this painting come to life, because one minute I was like, oh god, whatever does this look like? It doesn't look good at all. And the next minute I thought, oh, it's really coming to life now, it's looking lovely. I suppose that's just like any other ugly stage we get in our artworks, right? I really like how these markers have a brush tip on them. I think that's really unique and fun, because even though you're drawing, it really feels like painting still. Another one of my pros is I love how you can just grab these markers and go. They're so quick and easy to get started with. You just open the lid on the box and you're all ready to go, and open a page in your sketchbook. I think that they will be really good for daily doodling, or just doing some quick artwork every day, or sketching, or even taking part in an art challenge, because they're just so quick. You can leave them out on your desk and just get started every day. I love that there is no shaking or pumping involved with these pens as well. You just get them out the box and go, which is really unusual for acrylic markers. I also really like the Posca pens, but every time I use them, I have to shake them up and pump them and make sure to get the flow good on the pen before they work properly. So I do appreciate that about these pens. But this could also be a con, and let me tell you why. I think because these pens don't have to be shaken up, sometimes the paint inside can go a little bit funny. I've had a couple of colours in this set feel quite dry, and it's almost like you have to use them for a little while to sort of activate them and get the paint inside to come down to the tip a bit more. I definitely felt that with the burgundy red colour, which I used on the pink macaroon at the bottom. When I was using that for the darker areas, it really felt like it was shredding the paper a bit, because the tip just felt so dry. But as I kept using it, the paint definitely came out a bit better. Another pen that I had a bit of a problem with in the beginning is the black pen. When I first started using that one, it felt so runny, so quite the opposite of the other colours actually, and it almost felt more like an alcohol marker than it did an acrylic marker, but also as I kept working with that one also like thickened up a little bit and started working properly in the end. I do really like how Arrtx recommend you to store these pens upside down, and that's how they come in the box, so they make it really easy for you to store them how they recommend for you to store them. I know some people have had problems where the paint is sort of dripping out of the tip, which isn't ideal. I know some people that have had pens come and they feel really dry, so there is definitely a little bit of quality control issues going on with these markers. In the first video I made about them, and when I was using the first set, I had one marker that came and there was no cap on it. The actual cap was on it, but the little end part of the cap was missing, so that whole pen was unusable because the paint had completely dried out. And I said this in the other video, but I kind of feel like it's a bit of a luck game when you order these pens, whether you're going to get a really good set or a not so good set. And I guess this brings me to the price point. So I just had a look on the UK and US Amazons, and in the UK these pens are £65 or $50 US, and that is at this moment in time, so they can always change I guess. But I kind of feel like £65 is a little bit much. And I probably wouldn't have paid that myself. I would probably go up to around £45 to pay for these, but I think they are such a unique and fun product, and if you paired it with a little sketchbook like this, then you've got such a great little daily art or daily doodle kit. I don't know anything about the light fastness information of these, but I'm guessing that they won't be light fast, so I definitely think that they would just be for fun and sort of sketchbook work, or even colouring books. They'd be awesome for colouring books. So if you fancied trying these pens out for yourself, I probably would shop around if I was you. I just looked on AliExpress and this set is on there for £35 at the moment, so that is actually a really good deal for these in my opinion. But there's always sales and stuff on Amazon, and I'll leave all the links and everything in the description so you can go and have a look through those. I'll also leave the link for the sketchbook as well because it's my favourite little sketchbook. And I think that's about it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned something, and I hope you like my macaroons or macarons. And if you do, don't forget to like this video, leave me a comment, and also subscribe. It means the absolute world, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye guys.